saying a wonderful good evening to everyone in all flavors land. How are you all doing out there? How are you all doing on this is the 12th of January 2021. Wow, how the week's already running past very, very swiftly. I am Wimbo77.
And I am Naturally Lily.
I'm glad to have you all on board, all of the WhatsApp crew, all of the tuning crew, and all of the All Flavors chat room crew, and all of you silent listeners. We're going to try and get some of y'all into the chat room tonight because we've lots of heated chat, and we have a lovely special guest coming in, Sugar Rainbow, and we'll be talking to her a little bit later on. How was your day today, Lily?
Busy.
Busy?
Yeah, very busy. A lot of marking to do, just loads of stuff to do.
Lots of work. I've been on it for 2 days here now, but I can see a little light at the end of the tunnel, which is really nice. Good. And regardless of whatever the circumstances we find ourselves in, work still have to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Still keep going.
There you go. And a nice happy Earth Strong to Mary J. Blige. She's celebrating her 50th Earth Strong. I don't know if that was today or yesterday, but she had a party, so it must have been like yesterday.
She's not supposed to be on a party.
No, but it was virtual. It was a virtual party. It was a virtual party. So you was allowed, Mary J. So high five and happy 50. Wow. I always thought that she was older for some funny reason.
No, I knew she was a 70s baby.
Okay, so she's a 70s child. So 71, 1971.
Yeah.
Hey, I had my 50th last year. And I'm going to celebrate it again this year. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, because we know that was a blip.
I think there's going to be a blip this year, but okay.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. We're being very optimistic in the fact that it's not going to be like that. And also, the question that we're throwing out to you today, beautiful people, is an unmarried mother is deemed to have parental responsibility for her children, but should she be penalised for not allowing the father rights to see the child? So think on that today, because we're going to be tackling that question. And also, are all mothers happy after having a baby? Are all mothers happy after having a baby?
That's an audience answer, or are we answering that now?
That's an audience question.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think we'll jump straight into it, really, Lily. And that is on how to support black mothers.
Yeah. I think that was something I saw last week. What was that about? How to support black mothers? Yeah,
so mothers that have had children, a lot of them, there's a group called the Motherhood Group.
Okay.
Yeah, and they support black maternal experiences through workshops, events and peer support and advocacy. So it said that women face challenges after giving birth. So Sandra says she speaks out about undiagnosed postnatal anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
So in line with that question, are all mothers happy after having a baby, or are all mothers in the right frame of mind, should I say?
I think that's a better word.
After having a baby, as opposed to being happy, because it is a happy occasion.
Yeah.
However, in many instances, for some women, they are suffering with undiagnosed anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
So where can these women go, and how can they be supported is what we'll be looking at.
So I know from my own experience that I don't know if I'd say it was undiagnosed, but I think a lot of people think you can't get postnatal depression after the baby's a certain age. And actually I had a really good health visitor who, I think it was about 8 or 9 months after I had my oldest daughter, Jayla, that we had a conversation, and she said, no, I do think that you are suffering from a bit of postnatal depression, with a bit of anxiety thrown in there as well. And she goes, no, you can actually be a sufferer up to 18 months after you've had your child.
Wow.
But I think because people think, it's usually within the first 3 months maybe, because a mother's getting used to the change, a new way of living. And that's not with only your first child. I think it's with any child you have. you could be a mother of 5. Every child is a different experience. But I think most women with postnatal depression, and I don't know the statistics on this is just from my own opinion and my own experience, I think most women will be diagnosed with the first child, but not with children thereafter, because the general consensus is, well, you've had one child, you should know how to deal with yourself with your second, third, fourth, fifth,
how many,
and continuing.
And the funny thing is, when this lady Sandra approached her mum and said that she was depressed after having the baby, the mother turned and said that black people don't get depressed.
Oh my goodness.
So it's having that right way to approach others that may feel that they're under a bit of pressure after having a child. I mean, it's a traumatic experience having children.
Yeah.
For women, it's very, very traumatic.
I don't just think it's the experience of like childbirth and labour that's traumatic. I think your world is completely different. And this is where I'm grateful to you and my uncle, DiCarlo, because I know that you two used to conspire, but I know you used to communicate, and he would let you know, like, she's been sitting in the room today with the curtains closed kind of thing. And then I obviously had that support there, but it's also that your family may not be around, you might be living by yourself, all your friends are at work.
Yeah.
It's literally just you, and especially now in the climate where you are literally not allowed to go anywhere. Before, you could go to a mums and babies
Toddler
group.
Yeah.
You can go swimming or something like that. Whereas now it's just you and your baby.
Very different
in your
experience.
Home.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a challenge.
Yeah. And like you said, that mothers and babies toddlers group, that would have give some kind of respite to go out and meet other women of like mind, because rightfully said, your friends, maybe if they don't have children, then the group gets smaller.
Yeah.
You don't get invited out as much because you have the little one. So all those little things that will impact. And this is, I don't even think it's first time mothers. Like you said, it doesn't matter.
It's a mother in general.
Yeah.
And I think every time you have a baby, you're a first time mother. I don't like that term. I understand it, but I think every time you have a baby, you're a first time mother, because when you have one child, you're learning how to be a mother of one child. Then when you have 2 children, it's almost like you have to relearn everything. And I had one of my friends came into work yesterday, and she's just had her second child.
Yeah.
And even she said, I forgot I had a toddler. She goes, you have to learn everything again. And on top of that, you have to learn how to manage the toddler with the baby, not making that one feel left out, but then realising that actually I can't walk out the room because the toddler might do something to the baby.
Yeah.
So it's an experience of its own again. And I think that happens every single time you have a child.
So obviously physical meeting is tough. So thankfully we do have lines of communication such as a telephone, so if we are feeling a bit low, to pick up the phone. But it says a crucial question that needs to be asked is, how do you react if you think a mother is not coping? It might be that she seems down, it might seem that things are deteriorating at home. How do we react if we feel that a mother's not coping very well?
How do you know a mother's not coping very well?
Well,
because they might say, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, it's all right. Just a bit tired."
Like you said, in your case, there was someone there that was there to watch out, so we could speak with each other. But if that person's on their own, then that is a bit of cause for concern, really.
Yeah.
But letting mothers know that there is help, and that even if you feel down, feel a bit depressed, that you can break that stigma, and try and tap into maybe services that are around.
Yeah, and I think it's important as well not to just tackle the depression. I think a lot of people don't realise that, yes, depression is recognised as depression. You're low, you're in a cloud, you go quiet, you're isolating yourself, maybe you're not who you were before you had the baby. But anxiety is a different kind of kettle of fish. Like, silly things go through your mind when you're dealing with anxiety. I wouldn't go and take Jayla out for a walk because I thought cars were going to drive on the pavement and run us over. And that was every single time. It stopped me from leaving the house. And silly things that I wouldn't get on the bus because I thought someone was going to touch her. And it's silly things that go through your mind that, yeah, they are a possibility, but what are the chances? But someone that deals with anxiety, you're not rational. You don't think with a rational or logical mind. And I think that's where it's important to also look out for different pointers in, if you know there's a mother that you're used to being out with and all of a sudden they're very protective and they're acting completely unreasonable, don't just think, oh, she's just being a mother. Do you know what I mean? Some people just brush it off and be like, oh, these first-time mums. She might actually be going through what is not just depression. She's got anxiety.
Or having like a mental health breakdown in some way, shape or form. And even more so in this time that we're living in, it's about being, again, vigilant and looking out for family members and friends, that have just had baby, just had a little one. Yeah. To look out for them, make sure that they are okay. Yeah.
And even them, they might have older children, and I'm talking about toddlers as older children, but they've been caught up in the house for such a long period of time, re-entering the normal environment. There might have been a shielder that have stayed at home and that someone else is doing the shopping and stuff like that. Then them having to go back out into the world, that may cause some anxiety as well. So just being that person that might, if you want to go shopping, I'll come with you, that support there for someone. They might not necessarily have anxiety, but helping them back into the normality that we want to get back to.
It's quite daunting, isn't it? To have been, maybe if you were shielding, and to be home all that time, getting out. I mean, when I had you guys, I'd stay in for 6 weeks. Yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere.
That was normal. Yeah,
wouldn't go anywhere. That was just the norm. Yeah. Whereas these days, you're out of the hospital within a matter of hours of having the little one. Yeah, and then especially if you're like first time mother, you're kind of out there on your own. Yeah. And if you don't have maybe a parent or mother or an auntie or someone that can advise you and help you, then it must be really overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's this group called Dope Black Mums, and it says that you can reach out to mothers within its own network to support struggling mothers, and some of them are midwives, therapists and nurses. So the Dope Black Mums organisation, I'll give out a little bit more information regarding them, and they are there to. They're a sisterhood that helps black women navigate motherhood together to support one another.
Yeah, and there are apps as well, because I'm with an app called Peanut. It's very, very amusing. But it is also a community of mothers there supporting one another through similar experiences. Because obviously it's getting recognised that we need the support. Yeah. And I think it's great that now we've got things like the Dope Black Mums and the motherhood group that can, you have like-minded people going through similar experiences that are there to support one another, because it is all about support, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what this Dope Black Mums company or organisation are all about. They're a digital safe space for black women, so they can navigate motherhood together. It says they're a sisterhood and a micro community that strengthens and supports black women from the diaspora to parent from a place of empowerment. Oh, that's wonderful, parenting from a place of empowerment.
I love this as well, where she says that Karina says helping out practically is key. Spend time with the mothers in your lives. Arrange to meet up. Obviously we can't do that now, but if you invite a mum to brunch, she can bring her kids with her, go to her house, fold some laundry and do the dishes.
Nice, yeah.
And I mean, no one likes doing those things, but it's almost made better when you've got someone there helping you do it and you're chilling, isn't it?
It's halved. It's problem shared is a problem halved. Or it's just spending time. Obviously, it's slightly different here now, but perhaps you can, again, Zoom or WhatsApp. I think you can have up to 4 people on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Although these new regulations that are coming, nevertheless, someone sent me something that you can opt out from your information being shared.
Yeah.
Marjak was saying over the start end that it doesn't matter who we're with, if we're with text message, if we send a text message on your phone, if you do it on any other app, they still gather your information.
They do.
So sometimes it's better the devil that you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Dope Black Mums, it's a really, really good organisation, and the founder of that is Karina White. She's one of the group's founders, and they're really there to support mums.
Do you think when you had children, you had how do I say, like things like postnatal depression? Obviously, anxiety and depression now are more noticed. But do you think when you had children, it was something that was noticed? Like if you went to your mum and said, "Mum, I'm depressed," would she have turned around and said, "Oh, black people don't get depressed"?
I don't know. It was a very different time as well. Even though I recall being depressed at one point in my life, but it wasn't after having my children.
No, yeah.
So I think everyone suffers with depression at one stage or another. Did I have a mother figure there? Not at that particular time.
Yeah.
But I wanted children, and I kind of just got onto it, fell into the role.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I had a supporting partner.
Yeah.
That does help as well. So I'm not sure if that would have been the case. And then would it have been recognised? It's more, like you said, recognised
Now.
these days
Yeah.
than perhaps back then.
Yeah.
A lot of women back then, you know, I was a 70s child, and a lot of women suffered. Even we've spoken about things like DV and all that.
Yeah.
It was very, very rampant
Yeah.
back in the 70s.
It was like the norm, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It wasn't something that you'd go to the police and say, "My husband's beating on me," because the police is most probably beating on his own wife.
Right.
Yeah.
See, so it was a very different time, whereas now these things are recognised. You can't do that because you'll get thrown in the bin, as it were. And it just doesn't happen. So there's a lot more organisation, there's a lot more things in place for women that are suffering. And it says if you are struggling with mental health issues, you can call 116 123 for free at any time.
Yeah.
That number's 116 123. We'll put it in the chat room. So come and join us in the chat room, and you can get all of access to all of this information that we're giving out. Also,
I went to IAPT.
IAPT is a very good service which you can recommend. You can
self-refer. Your GP can refer you, but most of the time the GP just hands you a self-referral sheet. And they do like an initial over-the-phone consultation and then work out kind of what support that you need.
Yeah.
And I had something called CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, which I would recommend 100 times over, even if you're not suffering from anxiety and depression. I think the way it helps you just kind of change your mindset.
Yeah.
And how you approach certain things, it really did help me out. And John Ken says that postnatal depression can have a massive effect on mother's outlook and ability to nurture. And it's very true. If you are feeling in a certain type of way, your ability to kind of bond with your child, depending on when the onset is, because like I said, it doesn't obviously come straight away with a lot of people. Yeah. But it can affect how you bond with the baby, or the baby's always crying, or I can't breastfeed because of this, and it can affect how you interact with your child. And I think when you do go to services like IAPT, they don't just look at you as you're just a mother. They see you as a person first, and then they help you when it comes to you and your interaction with your child, because that is obviously very important to them as well.
Yeah, they help you kind of deal with the matter at hand.
Yeah.
So they get to the root of the issue.
Yeah.
And then also can root it out and help you, or give you the tools in order to help you along and make life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
For you in that it's not state, but in the position that you're in. So IAPT, very, very good service.
Yeah, I think we as mothers, we put too much, we expect too much from ourselves. We expect that, oh, I'm a mum, I should be able to do the washing, do the laundry, do paint the house, have dinner ready 5 times over when, you know, the husband comes home or the partner comes home from work, and be able to sort out the children and have an immaculate house.
It's a lot of work.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's a lot. And especially as a first-time mother, coming in with baby, that's something, a whole new thing there, right there. So anything else, just...
We have too much of a high expectation of ourselves. I think that's one thing that we need to do as a support network, is help other mothers to see that actually, if you get out of bed and have a shower, that sounds really terrible, but getting out of bed and having a shower with a newborn, with a baby, that's an achievement.
Yeah. So not to have overly expect or have too much of a high expectation when it comes to first-time parenting. As a first-time mother, to just take your time, and like Lily said there, just getting out of bed and having a shower, that's an amazing feat. And we don't have to be super women. And the help is actually there. Yeah. You've mentioned that app. What's the name of the app?
Peanut
app.
As in a peanut that you eat.
Right, we've mentioned the Dope Black Mums. And also you can email joe@samaritans.org if you feel really bad. But remember, you can call that number, 116 123.
The best radio station in the world.
Allflavasradio.com
is right here, right now.
Have you ever wondered what therapy is and how it can help with our mental well-being? To find out more, please join me every week on a Wednesday for the Wednesday Wellbeing Show, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. on All Flavas Radio with Darnell, the therapist.
To all quail lovers from around the world, come join DJ Nige for 2 hours of solid quail music right across the genres: cadence music, zouk music, cordial music, lacomet, anything quail. It will be broadcast right here on All Flavas Radio with your host DJ Nige with a short year show, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. GMT each and every Saturday. See you there.
Club Zouk mashup session with Ninja Man Lloyd. Thursdays 8 to 10, Sundays 10 to midnight. Zouk mashup session on All Flavas Radio.
All Flavas Radio is now looking for radio presenters. Email us at info@allflavasradio.com.
Catch DJ Laro on Sundays with the Caribbean Party, 12 to 2, and the Vibe Show, Tuesdays 8 till 10 on All Flavas Radio.
Streaming live 24/7, playing your favorite artists.
Hi, this is Everton Blender, and it's all about the All Flavas Radio.
Sits in your man Bushman, and guess what? You got it locked to All Flavas.
Stereo. I say, come take a little winding up. Hey yo, it's your girl calling XP, the Booyah Queen, straight out of Dominica. Bigging up All Flavas Radio. Keep it locked.
All Flavas Radio.
A little song there done by Brooke. Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. I know that Joy McKay, you'd like that one, because I know you like that band, Brick. And also the first track that we played was In the End by Lala Hathaway. Oh, so Lily, we were speaking before the break regarding women and postnatal depression. One point that I realised there was one of the mums, she said the feeling of isolation was made worse due to lack of understanding from those that were present, and also the sadness around that postnatal depression as well.
Yeah. I think it doesn't help when the people that you are around don't understand what you're going through. Yeah. And it's all... I think... I do feel sorry for the partners because they're trying to make sense of the fact that why are you sad when we've just had a baby? Like, you should be happy. And that is true, but I'm not... It's almost like trying to explain... I'm not sad that I've had a baby, but I am sad that I've had a baby, because your life is completely different. But when others around you don't understand and they don't see the difference that you're feeling, you just feel like you're just alone. Everyone in the world is just against you.
Wow, that's quite a harsh feeling to have as well, isn't it? Because surely even your partner, maybe it's hard for them because they may not understand what you're going through, so that will cause friction there. And then again, you're even more isolated because of how he's feeling. Don't forget that generally you've got a newborn, there's still another baby in the house. That's the first one is the man, as they say. So it's hard for them as well, coming in and understanding what's going on.
And I think what's strange as well, and this is from experience, is the fact that even though you feel like you're in such a dark place, you cannot, like, the love that you have for your baby is, you can't describe it. It's just amazing. And you look at your child and they make you happy, but at the same time you're sad. And that is, imagine the confusion going through your own mind. Like, I don't understand. Why am I'm happy when I look at you, but I don't understand why I feel like this inside. And it's not something that you can explain to someone. And I know that I've spoken to someone else who suffered with depression as well, and she suffers from anxiety. She doesn't have children, but she's saying, when you're trying to explain to your partner, I feel like this, and they're saying, but why? I don't know. It's very, very hard to explain it, and that must be so frustrating for the other person. It's like, you're telling me you feel a certain way, but you don't know why you feel like that. How does that make sense?
It's like your body's gone through a whole different change as well. So all these chemical reactions going on inside of the body, all the chemical reactions going on inside of the brain. You know, you were how huge with this baby inside you. Now the baby's not inside you anymore, so your whole body has to regulate. It's a whole,
and then throw the pill in there if you're on any form of birth control. Forget it.
See, so you're going to be all over the place. So again, it's understanding that it takes time for your body to heal. And especially, say, if you've had a cesarean, or say especially natural birth is okay, but it's still quite traumatic.
It's traumatic. Yeah. When I look at my 2 birthing experiences, my first daughter was clean, but that was traumatic in the sense that I was forced into labour. Even though she was early, it was still someone put me into labour, and then it's not a nice experience. And then the second time round, it was quick, but it was traumatic because look at there was loads of different factors that could have made the situation go from bad to worse. And I think that's one thing that the partners don't really understand as well, is you are literally on that line between life and death.
It's dangerous. It's a dangerous time. I've lost a friend in childbirth as well, but don't want to scaremonger anyone, but it was negligence on the part of the hospital because everything was in place, but that's how close. It's a very, very traumatic experience. So overcoming that, then you have that lovely bundle of joy that should bring us joy, but then in another case we may feel a bit depressed and low and sad. But know that there are organisations, like we've spoken of, the Dope Black Mum organisation there. It's a digital sisterhood, online, virtual, as well as motherhood groups. You've mentioned Peanut and other apps that can help women through this time. And it's lovely that we can connect. So even though we may feel, do you feel, okay, I'm going to ask you out there, beautiful people, do you feel that it does take a community to raise a child? Yeah. Do you think that we need to rely on the community as a new mother to help us along? Does it take a community to raise a child, or do we need the community to help raise?
I think...
Not raise, but encourage.
I think it helps having the support.
Okay.
Because one thing I don't like, and I did find myself doing it, and then I've had to check myself, is when you've been through the experience yourself. So say, for example, breastfeeding, you've been through the experience yourself, and I am a full advocate for breastfeeding. I think all babies should be breastfed. That's just the way it is. But I had to catch myself in that mentality, because some mothers can't do it. Some mothers don't want to do it. And then others, they go in with good intentions, but actually the experience itself is also very challenging, that they have to just say, do you know what, this isn't working for me. And one thing I do find is, as mothers, we give off our opinion a lot and then get offended when someone doesn't listen to our opinion. But actually, every person's experience is different, and even your own experience with your children is different with each child. So not being that person to kind of try and force your opinion on someone else. The support is great, but remember there's a line between support and just not being the person that's
being supportive and just pushing their own opinion, ideas upon you, and that's very true.
I think as Caribbeans we do that a lot.
Well, people in general do that a lot.
But the picnic bar, there must be the pic. Actually, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like, imagine saying to a staunch traditional Jamaican, African, whatever, I know I don't hit my children.
That's old school though.
But that's what I'm saying. Imagine saying that to old school.
We have a different way of doing things.
I don't believe in smacking my children because I don't think it accomplishes anything.
But you know that we do. Regardless, they'll get one tap. At least once in their lifetime, you know.
It is unavoidable. But I do think as a community we are very judgmental in that sense when it comes to discipline.
So really keeping our opinions to ourselves. If we feel, because there's lots of parenting styles, so we don't want to push our opinions and like we say, disclaimer, again, it is our opinion, the things that we speak about on this show. So it's not anything set in stone, but it is how we feel about the situation, because you may feel very, very different to how we feel in this moment. So don't take it as gospel. Go and do your research and then work it out for yourselves. We're just one voice of reason. Yeah. And that's how we just have to look at things.
I mean, like, when it does come to discipline, I used to laugh at, what was her name? Jo, the nanny. The nanny that used to go into people's houses and say, "Oh yes, you must put the child in the naughty corner." And I'm like, naughty corner? What naughty corner? But best believe with my youngest, if I tell her to go and pick up a cushion, she knows exactly what it means, and that is, in my opinion, that discipline means more to her than getting a smack. I'll smack her and she'll laugh. Yeah. But if I say to her, "Go and get the cushion," "No, Mummy, I don't want to sit in the corner." But she knows exactly what she has to do, and she knows that this means you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's,
Yes, but know that there is help out there, and if you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling low after having a little one, that you can tap into these services. We will mention them again at the end of the show, as well as putting them into the chat. So come and join us in the chat room, beautiful people, and let's carry on the chat. The lines are open, so you can text, you can call. Next thing now is, someone asked me a couple of weeks ago about child support and paying child support for a child that the mothers are not enabling them to see the child. Yeah. And two, asking for things such as alimony, and should a man have to support a woman? Yeah. That it can quite well support herself. Okay, so we saw this. Why do you laugh?
Because if she can support herself, what's she want his money for?
Yeah, but we've got to remember that if you do have a child, that you both have to have the responsibility.
No, but we're talking about her supporting herself. You're not paying for her. You're paying. And yeah, go on. What did you read before we go into it?
No, because police. She made, it was last year. She made nearly $1 million, they said, but she still wanted more child support. So I think she got quite a lot in child support from NAS, and she was saying that it's not enough.
What is this? He spends $77,000 a month in child support.
It's a lot of money. It can't be.
But what is the child? Why? And the child's grown.
This is what we're saying. A lot of these women, they will ask. I think Naz and Khalees were married.
Yeah, they were. They got married in 2005, I think.
I think he went and he done something naughty, or he was with someone prior to her, and obviously they've split, but they've got a child.
Yeah.
And now she's asking for that the child support to support the little one, which, yes, they're fully entitled to supporting the little one, but being married, I'm sure you have to pay alimony as well. Can anyone out there tell us if you do divorce your partner, should you pay should you pay alimony as well as child support?
No, I think you do. So I think if you are married and you're the one that did something, so you committed adultery, for example, in the marriage, then you are responsible for the upkeep of the other person. I think.
Right.
Child support is a given anyway. If you've got a child together, then yeah, you should foot the bill. But I don't actually think that money should go to the mother. You know, like how they transfer the money to the mother's account or whatever. I don't think that should happen. I think there should be an account for the child.
Like a fund for college and stuff, maybe.
A college fund, or for example, say like the child's got does piano lessons and he's got tutoring and school fees and that kind of stuff. I think that should be paid for directly to those people. I don't think any money should go to the mother. If I'm honest. And then other things like clothes and that, well, the dad should be seeing the child on regular intervals on the weekends or whatever. If you need clothes, yep, come, we'll go and buy clothes. And then he produces the statements at the end of the month. That's
fair enough if you're entitled or enabled to see that child. What if you're not?
No.
Then what happens?
There's not what if you're not. And that's where I think every single system, UK, US, whatever system it is, every single system is flawed and is always in favour of the mother.
Yeah.
Because no one's in favour of the child. No one cares about mum, no one cares about dad. No one is in favour of the child.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, unless it's an abusive relationship,
that's different.
Abuse should be the only reason why a parent, and I'm talking equal sides, a parent should be stopped from seeing that child. Because I did see something as well where it was a dad had the daughter and the mum had gone and found them at a shopping mall. This was in America, and had gone with the child services, and the child had basically been ripped away from the dad. And when you spoke to the child, they were saying, why don't you want to go back? It's because the little girl, she was 8, was being molested by the stepdad.
Wow.
But they still ripped her from... They said to the dad, if you don't relinquish her now, we're going to get the police to arrest you. They still put her in the care of the mother. No, and the girl was so explicit.
Was the mother aware of that situation?
Yes. She was there when the child said it.
So maybe she rectified it. Hopefully she rectified that.
No, I don't care. If she rectified it, she would have said, you know what? You stay with your dad until I sort this out. She wouldn't have ripped the child from the dad.
Yeah, it's
so
quite traumatic.
On either side, I think if the child is being withheld from either parent, I honestly think it should be a criminal offence.
I agree. And that was our second question, wasn't it? Is the second question is an unmarried mother, well, we're talking about an unmarried mother or mother, just say, they get the parental responsibility of the child. It always seems to fall on the mother. In the States, it's slightly different. But here in this country, the mother gets parental responsibility.
That's not true.
But no?
No.
Okay, so...
So when I was reading... This was at work, actually, when I was reading about parental responsibility. So if you're married, you equally have parental responsibility. If you're cohabiting or you're having a baby together and both of you have been present and done the... what's it called? Birth certificate.
Yeah.
You both have equal parental responsibility.
That's if you're married, but if you're unmarried...
No, not even if you're unmarried and you have both been named as parents, you both have parental responsibility. So if the dad decides today, no, I'm going to take you and we're going to go and live in Wales, he's the parent, he can do that. He has the rights to do that.
I can't remember what it was, a child support agency that I think I got this information from, and it highlights that an unmarried mother is deemed to have parental responsibility for her children for births registered in England and Wales. As a father, you have parental responsibility if parents are not married, parental responsibility does not automatically pass to the natural father if the mother dies.
It doesn't automatically pass to the father, but if the father is named, then it does. And it's the same with if I passed, I know because as someone else said this to me, you have to physically write who you want the children to go to. Like, for example, if both of us pass, it wouldn't automatically go to the grandparents because the grandparents don't hold parental responsibility. But if the person is named, so if you're unmarried but the father is down as a parent, he is responsible for that child. And even in cases where I've known there have been cases where the dad has tried to get a passport for the young child and has tried to leave the country.
That's changed now, because they were doing that before. Yeah,
they've contacted the police. The person I know, they contacted the police, and the police said, well, he's got the right to do that because he's the dad.
This was the whole reason why they changed, back in the day, you could have your child on your passport. Now you've got to have separate. Because parents were smuggling their children out of the country. So that was one of the reasons. Plus, I think you have to get written consent from the other parent to say, I allow my partner to take the child out of the country. And that's
even if you're married.
Yeah. So, in that sense, if you do split, fathers still do have the right to know if the child is changing schools. They have the right that going on holidays with others and other organisations, that they should be informed about that. Serious medical issues. Changing the surname. Father needs to be told about that. Immigration, which we just touched on there. Their marriage. So if you're getting married, the other parent needs to be told. And if you're the child is up for adoption, well, obviously you'd want to know that. Sadly, does it always go through like that? Do fathers, do mothers know their rights as to parenting? Because a lot of parents, they lose touch, and it's very hard for them. There's an organisation, it's a man organisation with mothers that prevent fathers from seeing their children. There's a male organisation. There's a guy, he always wears a Spider-Man outfit and climbs up.
He's created an organisation for fathers who are not able to see their children. Okay.
Yes. So that is a very big issue for people, but it's really going back to paying for the child but not having to pay for the other parent.
I understand that sometimes when you have a child with someone, the person that you have the child with, you can't stand them. Right. I get that. But we live in the so-called civilised world where things are put in place for there to be a neutral place so that you don't have to talk to that person. You just, there's your dad, or there's your mum. And then they go off and do what they need to do. I don't understand why, as a parent, why you can hate someone so much that you then poison and disrupt a child's upbringing because of your disdain for another person. That is what I don't understand.
It's sad, but it's happening on a regular, and I think that this needs to be addressed. I think there are some judges in this country that are looking out for the males, because it's a lot of males that this is happening to, right? Because we've spoken most, or if not most, all the time, the child goes with the mother. In some instances, maybe the father might get that right, but generally it's the mum that gets the child. And then they make it hard for the father to see that child, yet expect them to still pay into a system when they're not even allowed to have that relationship with the little one.
And then in that instance, then how much of that money actually goes to the child?
Well,
that's the next thing now. No, you've got to pay me. If you want to see the child, you've got to pay me. And he pays you, but yet the child still looks scruffy, but you've got new weave on your head.
Well, we will tackle that after the break. We'll tackle that after the break because yes. So we'll see you in 5.
The best radio station in the world.
Allflavasradio.com
is right here, right now.
Have you ever wondered what therapy is and how it can help with our mental well-being? To find out more, please join me every week on the Wednesday for the Wednesday Wellbeing Show, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. on All Flavas Radio with Darnell, the therapist.
To all quail lovers from around the world, come join DJ Naiji for 2 hours of solid quail music right across the genres: cadence music, zouk music, cordial music, lacomet, anything quail. It will be broadcast right here on All Flavas Radio with your host DJ Naiji with a short year show 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. GMT each and every Saturday. See you there.
Club Zouk mashup session with Ninja Man Lloyd. Thursdays 8 to 10, Sundays 10 to midnight. Zouk mashup session on All Flavas Radio.
All Flavas Radio is now looking for radio presenters. Email us at info@allflavasradio.com.
Catch DJ Laro on Sundays with the Caribbean Party, 12 to 2, and the Vibe Show, Tuesdays 8 till 10 on All Flavas Radio.
Streaming live 24/7, playing your favorite artists.
Hi, this is Everton Blender, and it's all about the Old Flavas Radio.
Sits in your man Bushman, and guess what? You got it locked to All Flavas.
Bumper stereo. I say come take a little winding up. Hey yo, it's a girl calling XP, the booyah queen, straight out of Dominica. Bigging up All Flavas Radio. Keep it locked.
All Flavas Radio.
That is so frustrating.
Okay, Sugar Rainbow.
Yeah.
All right, so sorry about that, listeners. Sorry about that, listeners.
It's all right.
That's what it's like when you go live. When you go live, you get these little gremlins coming into the studio, wanting to interrupt your flow. But I'm glad that we've got you on, Sugar Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It was a bright day today, actually. was really nice.
Yes, it was beautiful, wasn't it? It started off a little bit wet, but then it got...
Summer's coming again.
Yes, you know.
Yeah. We have to look on the bright side. That's it.
Always. So where did you get that? Where did you get that name, Sugar Rainbow?
Oh my God! That's going way back. Sugar is because I love sweets.
Okay.
And rainbow was like because I have all colors in me. Black, white, American Indian, Jewish, and everything. So it's some mixture basically, but it's because of American Indian way. It's like you have all weird names, Whitefoot and whatever the names are. Yeah, Sugar Rainbow was like an American Indian name, kind of.
Awesome, because I know that you are Dutch-born, right, with mixed heritage.
Mixed heritage, yeah. Half Jewish, half American Indian, half black, half white.
Wow. So you really are a rainbow, huh?
Yeah, it's all different colors. And all the colors of the rainbow, man.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful because then that means that you are really a part of everything, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what made you choose music?
Oh, wow. You know, when you're a child, you just listen to music all the time. Basically, actually, it started with my grand and grandfather because they were into opera. It's crazy, but and my mom, she was, you know, singing all these other songs, Shirley Bassey and all that. And I was just humming the opera a bit, like a.
When I read that you can sing like 5 octaves, I was so impressed.
I would just put it in music, you know.
Yeah, that's an amazing range.
Why do you have to put funk and opera together? You know, that's what I thought. So.
Amazing range, amazing. You know, and I can hear it. I can hear it in your music. I love the sound. What's your inspiration?
My inspiration? Oh wow! You got a lot of good artists out there. Wow, you just learn from everybody, you know. When you grow up, you just all inspiration. But basically, when I grew up in Friesland, there was no funk or whatsoever.
Yeah.
Only cows and chickens, and I love horse riding anyway. There was no funk until I heard the radio station every Thursday from Ferryma, the Soul Show, was every Thursday. So you wait a whole week till that is coming. So that was really like, oh, I never heard that music before. I didn't even know it was black music.
Wow.
So yeah, that was all. And then I thought, okay, I got hooked on that one. Funk. Yeah, that was it for me there.
We love a bit of funk. And what I love in your biography was when you said that you'd finished the songs in your head.
Yes, I can hear all the melodies. And all the instruments. It's like, doom, 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 you know, all these crazy things you hear. So you just write. First is the melodies, basically.
Yeah.
There's a melody in your head. Any melody comes out in your head, or sometimes you dream about a melody and you hear a whole finished song in your head, and a whole, I don't know where it come from.
It's funny because when that happens, I have my dictaphone beside the bed, and then I go in and I sing something and it sounds really awful when you get up, but the melody's there because you forget it. If you wake up,
you have to record it straight away.
Yes.
Otherwise you lose it. Just
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, and that's the
it's
one.
Only a couple of seconds, and just do it now. Sometimes you don't have a recording, and I try to sing it over and over again. I'm like, oh, that's a nice hook, you know. I like the hook lines, so I need to get that hook line. So
awesome.
Yeah, you need to catch it, and so many times you just you lose it.
Yeah,
but it comes back maybe a year later, or 2 years later, whatever.
Oh, mine don't. But you were in a girl group in Belgium, right?
Sorry?
You were in a girl group in Belgium.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I was very young. It started with my girlfriend. She wanted to sing, and she hooked me up with a manager from the US. And we go to the club, and I saw the keyboard man, Peter Solanger. And we gigged around a few places, Spain, France. We went to Africa, America, all over the place. So,
wow.
Yeah, a cruise ship.
Awesome. And I know that you have had a band here. One of the places I've seen you at was at After Dark with your band that you set up in London.
Oh, Soul Dimension. Oh, that was much later on. Yeah, that was 2011 or something, 10. I can't remember. Something like that.
Wow.
And Soul Dimension was a band. I wanted to make it like a funk band because it's not much funk, you know. I love funk. Where is the funk, man?
Do you think the funk is gone or the funk is still there? What would you say? Are you bringing it back alive?
I think it's coming back. Yeah, definitely.
Because we do love funk. Like I said, I've been playing a couple tonight. Where you can dance to, you know? Yeah. And I love your videos because you have them roller discoing as well in your music videos as well. With the roller skates. You have the videos with the roller skates.
Oh, yeah. We did that in the park with the dancers. Yeah.
Awesome. So what are your future goals?
I recorded the people there who are always roller skating every Sunday afternoon. And that was great to see because I was roller skating back in the days. Not anymore, but back in the days, I did a lot dancing on roller skating. You go to the disco and you just dance along, you know.
Wow. And you remind me of is it Tina Maria?
Tina Marie?
Yeah, you remind me very much of her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just in your whole approach and the way that you sound. There's one of the tracks that I'll play now, actually. Oh. Yeah, that really sort of took me back. And
Marie, wow, that's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't.
She's not near me at all. I'll compare that, but yeah, it's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes we don't know that because it's us in that space how good we actually are. And I'm very, very impressed with what you do and the way that you craft a song.
Maybe that's the inspiration from all the other artists like Starpoint and and all the others, Atlantic Star and you just Chains and all these beautiful albums that you hear on the radio back in the day. Man. Yeah, that's great.
I must say that all Flavas Radio presenters, they play some seriously good music on the show that, again, emanates all those wonderful people that you just mentioned, Cameo, Starpoint, Prince,
that's
Kenny Burke.
Great music.
Yeah. So let's have a listen to this one and I'll see you back in 5 minutes, okay?
Yes, of course.
All right. Stay with us, beautiful people.
Emotional and wondering why we have
Oh, Sugar Rainbow.
Yeah!
I'm liking that one. Very good, very good. Loving it, loving it. What was your inspiration for that one? I could hear some elements of Prince on that one there.
That was a very old song, and me and John decided to get together and do that song again because he liked it so much. The first one was with Peter, Angel, and the other one, the new one is with John Thompson. So he done all the. That's a beautiful. He done a very good job on that one.
Great track.
They both did actually, but it's just a different version.
Yeah. So, what are your future plans then? What obviously at the moment, what are you doing during this time? First off, and what are your future plans?
Since the coronavirus is on the corner, I mean, that was like, okay, what am I doing with these songs? They're just sitting on the shelf. So I thought, just put them out there. And also, I decided to create new music as well. So between the older songs and the new upcoming songs, yes, just to get together with Peter and John and get it all done. And Rainbow Funk is basically all the people that we worked with.
Okay.
In the past and in the future's coming.
So what are your plans then?
It's not only Sugar Rainbow. Sugar Rainbow is just the artist.
But Rainbow Funk.
Yeah, Rainbow Funk is just, the collaboration of everybody else that I work with. So
awesome. So what are you planning on then after this time period that we're in? Do you have any plans?
Just recording and just music, writing new songs, and that's it basically. And if somebody else want to sing it or whatever, or if it's coming in a movie, I don't care. It's good. It's videos, new music videos.
So you're going to be writing. You'd like to write for popular artists and TV and film then?
Yeah, I can do if they want me to. So yeah, that would be great.
So looking for publishing.
I just like to do in the background, just writing songs. That's it. The production.
Well, they're very, very good. And you're based here in the UK at the moment, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So
I'm in Holland, but I live in England now. So.
Yeah. Do you like England? Where do you prefer? You've been all over the world. Where did you prefer the most?
I think I like England,
Really? What do you like about it? What's so different about here to everywhere else that you've been?
I love America too. I love Africa. I love, a lot of places in Europe. But it's all good. It's all fun. I think it's nice, England. Yeah.
Has a bigger music scene, doesn't it? The music scene's quite good here.
Yeah, and you never get bored. It's like, only maybe now the coronavirus, everything is shut down.
Well, don't worry, it won't be.
It's time for creating now, so you can focus on the creation, basically.
Definitely. Absolutely. So that's what we look forward to doing. And I like this song, the Touch New one. We're going to finish with that one. We're going to say goodbye to you, but stay on the line. Stay on the line. And where can we find you, Sugar Rainbow? Where can we find you?
It's basically Sugar Rainbow is on Facebook, Spotify, and all the digital, whatever they call it. And also I have a website called Rainbow Funk. So it's probably all the links are on there anyway. Okay,
well, we're going to put those links into the chat for everyone to see that. And so we can purchase your music online on those platforms, right?
Rainbowfunk.com.
Rainbowfunk.com, beautiful people.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So see you in 5.
South London and his experience of multiple sclerosis. I also catch up with Terry, a hypnotherapy student, and some of the successes that she's seen. Lastly, I speak to Pauline Dean and dementia in her family and how she's dealt with it. So please join me, Darnell the therapist, this Wednesday on the Wednesday Wellbeing Show, 9 to 11 GMT.
Oh yeah, that was Sugar Rainbow with us in the studio. And like I say, we do have gremlins every so often, so that was a very nice interview. Sugar Rainbow, rainbowfunk.com. Check her out and check her out online. So Lily, yeah, it's always nice to have a guest in the studio, isn't it?
It is, but I feel like whenever we have a guest, the gremlins come out.
I don't know why that is. I don't know. You're being naughty. So we'll have to check that one out. So Lily, we've spoken on what have we spoken on tonight?
Supporting mothers.
Yes.
And we were speaking before the break, or before we spoke to Sugar Rainbow, about whether or not mothers, because we're going to say mothers now, aren't we? Because they're usually the ones that do it, should be prosecuted for withholding the child but taking the money.
Right. Your thoughts out there, 07895 134 713, 07895 134 713. Do you know we don't have enough time? Really, sometimes it must be just something that we span over a period of time, or just because it's 7:35 already and we've not even touched on much this evening, really. But we've had a lovely guest in with us tonight. So let us know what you think. Should mothers be prosecuted for withholding the child?
What do you think?
What do you think? What do I think?
Yeah.
I think that they should be penalised, definitely.
What's the difference between penalised and prosecuted?
That the fathers should, the right should be relinquished, and the fathers that really want to have a part in their child's life should get that.
No,
that chance.
I think that's because we know that there have been times when someone has gone through the courts, they've been given that responsibility, but the mother has still withheld the child.
So she needs to be penalised for it.
She needs to be prosecuted.
So
it needs to be
in what way?
What,
put her in the prison? Because that's not going to help the situation, is it?
Well, if a man doesn't pay his child support, he can be locked up for a couple of days.
That's true.
So why does he get... I really seem like I'm always for the men, don't I? Well,
it's fine, because they do need someone in their corner.
Why do we always vie for the women? Oh, but she's the mother. Oh, but she's the this. Oh, but the man can get prosecuted for it. And that most probably go on his criminal record. And she can be a dragon lady, and absolutely nothing gets done other than the fact that it's completely given the child a complex.
I think that the laws around that need to change, though. Definitely. And it needs to be enforced more, because the police in this country, when it comes to enforcing things like that, they'll push it aside, and then they'll want to do other things that they have no right in being involved in. So again, it's all upside down. It's the law, the legislation needs to change. Is anything going through legislation at the moment? I've not seen anything. I will go on and I'll check it out. But it's very hard, I think, for men. We spoke about that as well. They'll take their lives due to the fact of not being able to see their kids, or being put in such a position that it's just impossible for them to have that contact.
And I think as well, we've got all of these policies and procedures that are put in place when it comes to safeguarding. I wonder how many of those safeguarding conversations that happen with a child do they then say to the child, how often do you get to see your dad? Do you want to see your dad?
Well, they never ask the child.
How often does that happen?
How often do they ask the child what they want? Very rarely. The parents are there bickering and arguing, or the mum's being a cow over there, or he's being a right bull over there.
Yeah.
And no one's hearing what the child wants.
But sometimes they are hearing what the child wants, they're just not doing anything about it.
Yeah, that too. It's because quite sad.
I know it's easier to say, just rip the child away from the mum and put it with the dad, and we can come up with so many conclusions and solutions, but actually it is still going to be down to whether the mum listens or not. I know I say mum should be prosecuted, but then you've got the next rabbit hole that you're going to fall down when it's like, well, if mum gets prosecuted, who's going to look after the child? Well, dad. And then is the child then going to blame the dad? Because the mum... Do you know what I mean? It's a knock-on effect. It is literally... it's almost along... Maybe they both need counselling. Maybe they need a bit of CBT through IAPT.
The world needs to be healed. The world definitely needs to be healed because it's just all over the place, you know. And we can't say, oh well, wait till they're married and not have children out of that because it's married. It happens to married families and people in marriage. Yeah. It's just very messy, and you love them once. You love them once so much that you had a child for that person. No. Okay.
Are you talking about in a marriage?
I'm talking about in a relationship.
No,
perhaps,
man.
no?
People have one night stands and get pregnant. They don't love the man. He don't love her, but they still produce a child together. But I think that's where you stop being, it's about me, and then you start being a parent. Do you understand what I mean?
But for some people, it doesn't go that way. It doesn't stop being about me.
Do you know, it makes me laugh because I have a friend, until the day that I can't think of another example, she's always going to be an ideal example for me. Had a child very, very young, was just out of school. And the dad, in my opinion, he's a bit of a work. But never, ever, ever has she stopped her child from being able to have a relationship with their dad. Never.
But that's a woman that doesn't like
has
drama.
Stopped it. The dad has proven himself to be a bit of a waste of space, to the point where the child is turning around to the dad and saying, nah, you're just not right.
But then that's because the woman has done the right thing in the sense of giving him enough rope.
Yeah.
Whereas on the flip side of that, when there are fathers that really want to be involved, the woman is a bit of a pain and is making it hard for him.
I mean, why? You've got someone that wants to say to you, do you know what? You get weekends just... And this is what another thing that... It's not funny. But as a parent where I live... I'm married to the father of my children. I don't get weekends off. I don't get holidays off, like Christmas and the school holidays. But you are actually being given... You complain, I've got all it and you've got... baby to look up, but someone's actually saying to you, no, you can have your weekends, you can have your holidays, you can have a couple of days in the week, but because you're bitter,
some people just like drama.
Cutting off your own nose to spite your face and make yourself look ugly.
What are your thoughts out there, beautiful people? Because it is a very touchy subject, isn't it, when we think about it? It's quite touchy. 07895 134 713. That's 07895 134 713. You know, how are we going to break, because it is breaking a cycle. It is, perhaps they saw the same with their parents, so they're doing exactly the same as their mother or father done. Is it breaking the cycles, and can this whole situation be fixed? We were initially talking about child support, but I think it goes a lot deeper than the child support.
Because then you will have a relationship with the dad because you want the money. Because you're still having that form of communication when you're... If you're being verbally abusive to him,
not necessarily,
and stuff like that.
He might just be a decent person that just puts that in religiously every month or every week or whatever for the youngster, but there's no contact. That could also be the case.
But then that child's growing thinking that dad doesn't really care about me. Because how often do you think that mum's actually saying, "Oh, your dad's giving me money this month"?
They probably say your dad's a nasty piece of work. That's more than likely what they're hearing. But time is a great healer again. And young people grow up.
Yeah.
Young people do grow up.
We clock from...
And they learn.
Yeah.
And recognise. And then to me, it's going to cause another problem, because all that time, that withholding, that it will cause an issue with the mother if that's what they've done, or the father if that's what they've done.
Because you do end up having a bit of a, what's the word, like a love-hate relationship. You love your mum because your mum took care of you, but then how could you keep dad from me? You're the reason why I have a relationship with him. And he's not actually that much of a bad person than what you made him out to be.
We can go on and build relationships. That's the beautiful thing about being humans. We can actually, regardless of all the time that's gone, we can go on and build relationships. So that's a saving grace, really.
But if you are the sort of person that finds it difficult to build relationships, that's not gonna be an easy feat for you. Like, you could be not withdrawn, but you could just be, I'm very content with who I know, and I don't find it easy to start to let new people in, trusting new people.
Humans are so complicated. We're really complicated beings. Are. What does Napoleon Hill have to say for us tonight,
I don't know what Napoleon Hill says.
You know, we're going through the Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill. I think I said it was written by Earl Nightingale last time. It's not Earl Nightingale. It's Napoleon Hill, and it's a book that helps us to think and grow rich, just what it says in the title, but it gives us some good pointers towards that journey, thinking and growing rich. What's that? Joy McKay? Yes, confusion. It is confusion, isn't it? Changing times, too many choices. Was it different back in the day, Joy McKay? Let us know, because it is quite confusing for the child, I think, more than anything else. And it's a matter of, like Lily said, setting our grievances aside and acting out for the soul well-being of the young child. But sadly, that doesn't happen all of the time, and they do lose out a great deal.
So this isn't specifically a pointer in the Think and Grow Rich, like of the 12 or however many points you make, but I've literally just seen this paragraph, and I think this is very apt for our current climate. It says the depression, so it's talking about the whatever depression they went through in America.
Yeah, the Great Depression.
That's the one.
Yeah.
The depression was a blessing in disguise. It reduced the whole world to a new starting point that gives everyone a new opportunity.
Yeah.
Someone else said to me today, no, it wasn't you. Someone said to me today that being in the state that we're in right now gives many people a fresh start. And they were talking about a personal issue that they have in their own life, but it's being put in an uncomfortable position, like we're always talking about, has opened their eyes to certain things. And hear what Napoleon Hill says when he talks about the depression being a starting point. I wonder how many mothers, for example, that are going through depression, that are now listening, maybe, I didn't know about Peanut, I didn't know about IAPT, I didn't know about this. They've got a lot of time in their hands right now. Maybe now's a starting point to try and get out of the funk that they're in.
Oh, nice one. Get out of the funk, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the same with the mothers that may take the child support payment and don't support their child seeing the dad. Maybe it's a recognition now that actually I need to stop being this person. I need to start afresh.
It's so lovely when we say it. And I think one thing that holds people back, and it's so true, the depression, we're in a kind of Great Depression now, but it's given us time to reevaluate, rethink, reflect, and to move on and progress forwards.
Yeah.
One thing that holds many of us back from taking that step of, do you know what, I messed up, I effed up.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm going to set the ego aside, and rise above being that person that gets stuck in that cycle. The only way we're going to break the cycle is by doing something different.
Yeah.
So setting that animosity, setting that anger, setting all of those negative emotions aside, progressing forward and overcoming the fear as well, because the more, I guess, with, say, a mother that's angry with the father, she's getting more and more angry, which will in turn prevent her from allowing that child and giving that child what they need. But overcoming that anger, overcoming those emotions and recognising this is bigger than I am, that I think is what will turn things around, breaking those cycles, setting that ego aside.
And even the cycle when the lady that made the mothers group, she said that her mum said to her, black people don't get depressed. That's a cycle that needs to be broken. We've spoken about that many times when we know what our community's opinions may be, but actually being that person in that community that says to the mother, do you know what, actually what you're feeling is completely normal. A lot of mothers feel the same way. A lot of mothers feel overwhelmed. A lot of mothers think that they need to be Wonder Woman when actually you got up and brushed your hair this morning, well done to you. Being that person that empowers the other person. Because it's all about empowerment, isn't it, really?
And we can do that. We can. Joy says technology brings new insights.
Yes.
It really does. But then a lot of books bring old insights that we can learn from. It's really crazy. You know, we take on board the new as well as looking at the old things. We're looking at Think and Grow Rich. I think that book was written well over 100 odd years ago.
Yeah, it's an old book.
It's old, but it's valuable, a bit like the Bible. Very valuable with the morals and the principles, all those things that are set out in it. It helps us advance forward if we see it in the right way.
And I did want to say, if you are a friend of someone that you know, I don't know how many people may be friends with someone that they know they've perhaps got a child that their friend doesn't allow to see their father. Sit down and have a conversation with that person, because I think as much as we may be angry, there's nothing wrong with being angry and no one's saying there's anything wrong with it, but the child needs to be considered.
Yeah, with both the parents, regardless of how we may feel towards the parent, as like you said, as long as it's if they're violent, then it has to be in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's not, then they've got to be considered. The child has to be considered. What do they want? And it's not about put the ego aside and allow the parents to see allow the parent to see their child, allow the child to see their parent. You know, things happen. We don't always get on, but we can. It says balance is what humankind needs. Yes, Joy, indeed. Balance most definitely is what humankind needs. And it's polarity, negative and positive.
Yeah.
We need both. And just working through that, trying our best to build a better world. And that if we want things to change,
we got to be the change.
We have to be that change that we want.
Definitely.
All right. So, wow. 7:52 on the 12th of December.
December? We're in the whole new year. What are you? It's January.
So the 12th of January.
2021.
I think I went back in the time machine right there. So,
come back.
Yes, I'm back. I'm back in the vortex. I'm like, ooh, back in there.
Oh my goodness.
So we do hope you've enjoyed what we spoke about tonight. Like we say, we're there to talk. We're there for you if you ever need a listening ear. 07895 134 713, and there are many organisations out there that can help you if you are feeling depressed. Remember that number for the Samaritans, that was 116123. That's open all the time. It's free at any time to call. And also the organisations that we spoke of as well, the Dope Black Mums and the Motherhood Group was another one, wasn't it? So check out these. IAPT as well, you can self-refer, and check out even going to GP if you're really feeling terrible, and that's the support that you can get. The support is out there, so just tap into the resources that are available. All right, beautiful people, so we do hope you've enjoyed time with us. Shout out to all the presenters on the station. DJ Laro will follow after me from 8 till 10, and Mark Philogene will follow from 10 till 12. Shouting out to the original Mr. Fix-It, shouting out to DJ Slim, shouting out to George Flavors, he's the captain of this whole operation. High five and kudos to you, as well as Charlie Muir. You can catch Charlie Muir and Darnell tomorrow. just check out the schedule, check out what the DJs are doing, as well as shouting out to John J.E., shouting out to Ninja Man Lloyd, DJ Nige, everyone in the chat room, giving you a high five, love, peace and light, and everyone on WhatsApp, Facebook, and all around the world. So all we have left to say, really, from Lily and I, is we'll see y'all on the other side. Take care.
Hi, I'm Eddie Saunders of the New Jersey Connection, and you're listening to Wimbo and Naturally Legally Drive Time Show on AllFlavasRadio.com. They got all the flavor. All the flavor. Keep it locked right here and don't touch that dial, please.